Okay, for everyone who's listening on YouTube, thank you for being there. As I was just saying to the audio audience, we're coming in on some awful news. I have no details about this. Anna found out around the same time I did, and folks, we both found out 4 minutes before the show started. I got a text, and I got the same text from Lonnie Beauchamp, a close friend of ours for years in the group.
That's right.
There was a guy in the group. He's been on the Saturday show several times. I've done one-on-one consults with him. He was always around in the Facebook group and on Twitter, and I don't think the guy had an enemy in either group. Go on, Anna.
No, he came out to Pasadena when I was in July, when I was doing the demo of the sauce. He was on the clubhouses every week, chiming in. Yeah. I can only guess that something really sudden happened.
Yeah, we're talking about Kevin Biggs.
Big Z, we love Big Z.
Yeah, member of the NSNG family. Man, he promoted what we were doing. Look, I don't know how he passed away. I don't know if he was in a motorcycle accident or if he died of some sort of cause. I'm sure we're going to all find out long before the show.
I hope we do, because, that's always the first question, and it's human nature to be like, what happened? He just turned 51 yesterday as of us recording this. And I just posted on his wall last night, happy birthday. I don't know what
apparently
happened.
He died on his birthday yesterday. Sources,
that's crazy.
The source being Lonnie, says that he was in Mexico celebrating.
Yeah, they're in Playa del Carmen. And I think they're still, I know that Tracy, his wife, is still there.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were there with their daughter or not. I don't know.
Kevin, the reason he came to NSNG several years ago was because he had heart issues. He had very, very high blood pressure, like in the danger zone. And he had other issues, and it's not for me to talk about. He talked to me about all these issues whenever he did consults or whatever. I'm not a doctor. I couldn't give him advice on that. He was under a doctor's care and everything else. But apparently he, hopefully, I don't know how he died, but if he died of any of those causes, he didn't go down without a fight. I can tell you that. He will be missed. And when we find out more about Kevin and what happened to him, we will let you guys know.
Yeah. So, everybody loved Kevin, including us. He's a great dude. I don't know what happened.
Yeah. It's rough.
Which, by the way, he's 50. He just turned 51. It just shows you how fleeting life could be. So everybody out there, go give everybody a hug that you love.
Yeah. And spill a drop for old Kevin. Wow. Anna, I did something that I normally don't do for this show.
What's that?
I wrote down a couple of notes.
Oh, look at you preparing.
The crazy thing
is, are you going in to like interview a dignitary or?
No, just you. I'm just interviewing you. Because last night I was doing I get on Twitter every night, and
yeah,
it's getting to holiday time, and people are asking me certain things. And then I notice that when I'm on a telephone with people, I will give them slightly different advice. And they'll say, whoa, that's not what you talked about on Twitter or on your podcast. And,
well, aren't you tailoring advice for people?
Right. That's exactly what I'm doing.
There is nuance involved.
Yeah, there's a lot of nuance. As a matter of fact, one of the notes, I can't understand what it is. So there's one note here that.
What did you write?
I can't even make it out. The word may is here. Then it looks like devil, but it's got an AIL, evolve. May derail you. May derail you.
May derail you.
May derail you. Okay.
The devil may derail you.
No, there's no devil in there.
I know. I'm teasing.
So here's the deal. And this could be confusing for so many people. They go, well, Vinnie says this, but Vinnie told me that. Okay.
Right.
It's holiday time, and look, holiday time used to start on Thanksgiving Day. Let me just be very, very clear.
That's true.
Now we're talking about Halloween candy in August. And I'm not exaggerating. I mean, you can start getting, a Reese's cup with boo written on it in August.
Yes.
They're trying to make the holidays last year around. And why shouldn't they? They're selling you their drug. That's just what they do.
They're making money, honey.
Yeah. They're making it the best way and the only way they know how, by killing you. So it all started, and this is coming out on a Sunday show, I guess, in a week or two with Gina Grad. It started with her telling me about a Reese's peanut butter cup that is like the size of a pie. So you could take a slice.
Oh, somebody sent you a picture of that on
Right.
Twitter.
And they're actually doing X number of these, and they cost like 40 or 50 bucks. And you could buy this and have this as a pie. And one of the tweets I wrote was, look, if you're going to put life into living, why do it with that chemically laced piece of crap?
Right.
By Hershey's or
Right.
whoever makes that. Why not make one of the desserts that Anna has in Eat Happy or Eat Happy 2?
Yes, I agree.
Or your mom's pecan pie or whatever it is that you really like. Don't go spend $45 or whatever on.
That's what I say. Like, I
ingredients.
don't want to see you binging on a Ralph sheet cake when you could make something great from scratch at home.
Exactly. So that's one thing, but that's not where my mind went. That's where my mind started.
Okay.
And then I started thinking, a lot of people okay. Yesterday I did a lot of tweeting and said, oh, if you want to have a piece of pie, have a piece of pie. Do what you will. It's the holidays coming up. And they're not asking about having a piece of pie. Today they're saying, when I go over, because look, we're 2 weeks out, or we're a week out by the time the show comes out.
When the show comes out, we're 4 days from 4 days from Thanksgiving.
Right.
So people will have like 10 things to go to this week.
Exactly. And, they want to know what to do, how to do it. Well, yeah, on and on and on. So.
And we talk about this every year.
Yeah, and we do, but there's
multiple episodes.
There's more nuance I want to throw into it this year.
Great.
If you've been doing NSNG the way I do it, and you've been in, ketosis for a year, 2 years, 10 years, whatever it is, man, if you want to break out on Thanksgiving Day and have that piece of cake or pie, or if maybe you like maybe you like the sweet potatoes with the marshmallows on top, or
candied yams, bitch.
Whatever you like, that's your thing,
Which, by the way, I have a much lower sugar version of candied yams on my website.
Oh, good.
Go to and if you cut out sugars and grains for any length of time, you're going to eat it and go, I don't need the regular one. You know what I'm saying? That's why I keep saying, like, you're going to eat that Ralph's sheet cake or that Reese's Costco cup pie monstrosity, and it's going to feel like somebody punched you in your incisors with sugar.
Right.
You're not used to it.
Yeah, we're not meant to eat that amount of sugar. But then there's another person that I think may want to stay on the straight and narrow.
Okay.
If you're that person, and you know who you are, I've spoken to a lot of you in the past couple of weeks, man. You decided at this time of year that enough is enough. You're not waiting until January 1st. I started hearing from you guys mid-September, all the way through October. Now we're in November.
This is when it gets dicey. Right.
And when somebody, it's kind of like an alcoholic saying, you know what, I'm going to a meeting, and they start living one day at a time. These are 300, 400, 500-pound people. These are people with A1Cs of 11 to 15. These are people with triglycerides in the 400s and 500s. These are very sick people. And when I talk to them and they go on the straight and narrow, I personally don't think, I think they should stay on the straight and narrow and just pretend that the holidays aren't happening this season. I hate to be that way, but but
this is why I gave every single NSNG version of all the Thanksgiving side dishes, which you can of course use for Christmas as well. And because this happens, and a lot of people do that, and they write me going, we kept it all NSNG, did not even make a pie or thing because we're full. And you should be full after you eat all that food. It's, high fat, low carb. You got the cream in there, you got the butter in there. You can still enjoy all of those favorites, not feel like you're missing out. But it does take a certain amount of fortitude, especially because now people aren't having solo Thanksgivings anymore. Families are getting back together. There's going to be comments from Aunt Sally and the peanut gallery, and you just have to really tune them out. And
Yeah.
I always said, Vinny, like, what happened as a society where we decided everybody has to eat the exact same thing in order for people to be settled at a table? Like, you don't do that at a restaurant. You're not like, well, we're all going to order the steak, right? Because if not, you should be eating that steak. Like, you get to pick what you want to eat. Why can't you pick what you want to eat at Thanksgiving?
Yeah, look, we don't even do the turkey. We just do the big rib roast, and that's our deal. There's
It's usually a buffet. You should be able to put on your plate exactly what you want to put on your plate.
we
And
don't
if
even
you
do buffet. It's just
bring it in,
Tallulah.
bring in the stuff, cook your food, to take control of it. If you don't feel like you have permission from the people, Vinny and I are giving you permission to do that, to take control of your own Thanksgiving. You get to do it, and you're not going to hurt anybody's feelings. You have to be healthy. If that's what you need to do, you have to be healthy. You have to choose yourself and not someone else's feelings. I'm sorry, but they need to not take it so personally. If you got to stay on the straight and narrow, you got to stay on the straight and narrow. Like, Vinny and I are giving you permission to do that right now.
No, absolutely. Look, I used to do the thing where I go over to Dean Laurie's house, the guy who I wrote Fitness Confidential with. We did that for like 4 or 5 years in a row. And what I would do, his family would kind of look at me, and boy, they made everything. They made everything from the cranberries to the yams and the pies, and everything was there. So what I would do with my plate is I would put some yams on there, and I would put a lot of salad. I would just put the salad on that plate.
Yeah.
Kind of make my plate look full. Right. So because I didn't want anyone else to go, oh, look, he's not eating the yams. I feel bad. Now, it's like I would just put it on my plate. I didn't have to touch it. I didn't have to eat it. Nobody would pay attention. After you have the plate, nobody paid attention. I would just eat my turkey and just.
Do you comment on other people's plates? Hey, I noticed you're eating a lot of yams and a lot of pie.
Never.
So why do people comment on your plate? Like, no, I'm not saying you personally, but I'm saying that's what happens. But that's what everybody does when you decide to make a change. People will make it their business what you put on your plate. And the thing is, it's none of their business what you put on your plate.
I've often talked about it on this show, Anna. I started going out for dinner with Matt D'Andrea and a bunch of these guys from the Adam Carolla show. It was like a guys' night out. We would meet at a different steak restaurant all the time. Adam would show up about half the time. And I realized that these guys were like, well, I kind of want a beer, but bring me a scotch. And then I would take and say, well, why didn't you get a beer? They had beer. You could have gotten
because you're there.
Right. And then I started noticing they would go, oh, let's get mashed potatoes, but we'll share it, and they're kind of halfway looking at me. So then I asked D'Andrea one time, I said, am I the problem? And he goes, yeah, kind of. And I said, okay. So the next time we went to meet down in Santa Monica, it was the next place we went to. And when they came to the table, they said, what would you like for your appetizer? I said, the biggest bowl of mashed potatoes you can bring to me. And they said, oh, we're not, what you want, Matt? What else do you want? I said, I want my appetizer to be the biggest bowl of mashed potatoes, please. And they brought me out a serving. They didn't bring a big giant bowl. And I took my fork, I dipped it in there, I took a bite. I think they were lobster mashed potatoes or something like that. I just took them and just pushed. I said, okay, guys, I've had some carbs. Now they're in the middle of the table. You guys enjoy, do whatever you want.
Yeah, everybody settle down.
I'm not judging you. I went first.
Right.
Now you guys enjoy.
Which I'm glad that you do that and try to make people feel comfortable. But what I'm talking about is when you go over, and it happens to me all the time, and people know what I'm do and how I eat, and they're like, why aren't you eating that? You should try that. You should have the thing. You should have the Jell-O salad. I'm like, first of all, ew. Yeah. Why would I eat that? Second of all,
you wouldn't eat it on a bet, right? I mean,
listen, I grew up in the South. We had some congealed salads at holidays. Like I know my way around a congealed salad.
Go back. What's a Jell-O salad? I'm pretending.
A congealed salad? Have you?
No, I don't know what it is.
So you basically take canned fruit, Jell-O, and nuts, and maybe maraschino cherries, and you put them into a thing, into like a bundt cake pan, and it congeals. That's a congealed salad. Maybe some pistachios are in there. It's so gross.
So wait,
Congealed salad.
You got to heat the Jello up and do all that, right?
Well, yeah,
Like
yeah.
Jello?
You cook the Jello and like let it cool. Then you put it in with the Dole canned fruit, and you kind of mix it up, and it's like a Jello mold, but it's a congealed salad.
All right, and then I got to ask another stupid question.
Welcome to the. How did you not have this?
Because Marie was
It's a
my
very
mom.
well. Maybe it's a regional thing because it was a very popular
I was pretending I knew
Georgia
what it was.
thing.
You said Jello salad. I'm going to tell you what I thought it was in a second, but let me ask another question. Do you just put plain gelatin in it?
No. Like you buy like pink cherry Jello or green lime Jello, and you mix. It's disgusting. Or sometimes you could put cream in there, or like you put Cool Whip on it.
No, wait, hang on.
Google congealed salad. I'm telling you, it's a Southern dish. You have it at every single Christmas, Easter. You have a congealed salad. Southerners who are listening right now, chime in on Twitter and hashtag congealed salad. And no, I'm not making it with Knox gelatin, with just nuts and Knox gelatin. I would rather not do that. And by the way, while you do that, can I explain to people what I'm going to start cooking here? Because I got to start cooking.
No, not yet, because I'm going to lose my cookies. Anna, some of these congealed salads look creamy. Some of them look like red Jello.
Yeah, you can put some just plain Jello, or you can put some cream in there, like Cool Whip. Generally, you wouldn't put like heavy cream. You would buy Cool Whip processed.
Congealed salad, buttermilk, congealed salad.
Yeah, buttermilk. Sure, you could put some buttermilk in there.
Jello salad.
Probably pecans. A Jello salad. What did I tell you? Jello salad. But technically, they're congealed salads.
You would not make.
My stepmother will make you a congealed salad if you ever get to Montgomery, Alabama. That's in fact, I think the only thing she knows how to cook.
So wait, hang on. Let me go back a step.
Bless her.
You're putting Jello that has sugar in it.
Mm-hmm. With the fruit.
And then you're putting fruit. And this, you said canned fruit, like cherry?
Yeah, like a Dole canned fruit, like a fruit cup mix.
Which is full of high fructose corn syrup.
Right.
This was like an accident.
And? No, it's literally like one of those dishes that was invented by, that early 60s kind of like, let's help the housefrows out by like making the most processed foods possible and then selling it to them in Good Housekeeping. Like, if you want to really be a lady and serve your audience, you will make them a congealed salad. And the nuts give it a little texture.
You put nuts in there too. Oh, yeah. God. And
Lauren, what do you think of the congealed salad? Pits. He says the pits. How many congealed salads have you had to eat over the years? Fuck congealed salads. It's Lauren's. Yeah, he said he didn't do that in the North.
And folks, Anna's husband will fucking eat like a rat.
He'll eat anything.
Yeah, he will eat.
But not a congealed salad.
I'm shocked at what I'm looking at here. I'm going to hit images and let me see how many.
Well, if you think about it, it's based on like an aspic, which is savory, which is when you have the gelatin with the meat, like a potted meat sort of thing. But we're Americans. We're Americans. Why do we want a savory aspic when we can do it with all sugar? You know what I'm saying? And fuck over our citizens for generations to come.
You know what?
Luckily, I think the congealed salad will die with my parents' generation. Sorry. Just like I hope that dry Italian cookies will die with that generation. Like, nobody needs to eat the nut horns and the musty cholis, and they're just not good cookies.
I got to move on because I've.
You're very upset by this.
Well, I'm a little weirded out that I didn't know that it even existed. When you said it, you want me to tell you what I thought when you said like Jello salad?
Jello salad, yeah.
I thought that you would make like a Jello, like a sweetened Jello,
right. Like a cherry Jello or whatever,
orange or whatever, whatever you might have. And then you would take a salad bowl, fill it with salad, fill it with lettuce.
And then put cubes of like
just chop it up because because people like sweet with savory because they'll put. Remember when they started putting like cranberries and everything in salad? Like people,
that to me, putting a dried cranberry or a dried thing in something is not that crazy to me.
Okay, so you see where
but Jello in a salad is crazy.
Okay, but look.
Although I have a friend, a guy I know, and he loves to put blueberries or strawberries in his salads, and that I'm not into.
We're talking about Skeeter, right?
No, but another gay. It's not Skeeter, but it's actually Skeeter's friend,
Okay.
and he's a well-known Hollywood gay.
Yeah. I went right to Skeeter. I went, okay, somebody from Houston had to do that.
No, he's from LA actually.
Wow.
But it's upsetting, and it should never be done. Blueberries in a salad.
Is it that weird
there.
that I thought that someone was putting chunks of Jell-O in the salad? Because when you said,
Well, no,
salad,
I mean,
that's what
you
was
don't
in
know
my
what you
head.
don't know.
Right.
You should ask your mom if she ever made a congealed salad.
No,
She's the generation.
I would have
No,
known.
not for you, but like her girlfriends probably made it. She was probably smart because your mom actually has like a palate and taste buds.
What time is it?
You call her and ask her about the congealed salad.
Yeah.
And while you do that, I'm just going to tell everybody I'm making creamy cilantro chicken thighs. So I'm going to start. You know how you buy the cilantro, or sometimes your herb? My cilantro actually went crazy, and we had to rip it out because it grew too tall and got dry. But I just bought this. This was 99 cents. Look at this. I want this to be my bridal bouquet. I'm going to renew my vows, and this is going to be my bouquet. Here comes the bride. Doo-dee, doo-dee. Where's Marie? I cut some onions up. By the way, this is a recipe that was in my bonus stuff. So it doesn't exist out there in the world. You're going to have to watch this YouTube video and see what I'm doing in order to make it. So I'm going to saute some onions and some olive oil. Is Marie there?
We have Marie. You there?
Hello.
Hello, how are you, my dear?
I'm doing very well. And yourself?
Honey, I just had the trip of a lifetime with my 4 sons. So
I can't wait to hear about it.
It was wonderful.
Yeah, Ma, I should have thought about bringing you on just to talk about the trip. Did you really have a good time?
No pressure.
I cannot tell you how many people saw me in Donaldsonville between yesterday and today and said, I saw your picture and I would love to do that with my family. And I said, well, we already planning another one, but this time we taking the girls with us.
Oh, well, I'm busy that day.
No, you're not busy that day. You bringing Serena.
Yeah, I don't know about that. At any rate, we took them on the Natchez trace. My mom had done half of it in a Model A at one time with my dad.
I've done that trip several times with my dad and stepmother who live in Montgomery, and then we go over and do the Natchez when I was little.
Ford. That's my question.
No. We probably did it in like a 79 Chevelle.
Yeah, you see, my family is really poor, so they're still in their first car.
You still did it. You still did it in a Model A.
Yeah. Something came up on the show just now. And I said that I'm quite certain that I've never had this in my life because my mother was actually a mother and she would never make such a thing. So
what is that?
So Anna said, I bet your mom must have made one. I went, she couldn't have because I had never heard.
I didn't say she necessarily made one, but I know she knows what it is. It was very popular with Southern women of a certain age, at least in the Eastern South. Maybe it's an Appalachian thing. I don't know.
All right. Tell her what it is, Anna.
Congealed salad.
Oh, yeah. Vinny, I love congealed salads. Okay.
Oh my God, I feel so vindicated right now.
Do we make them down the deep South? Yes, we do.
Do you?
But
you've
make
never
them
served me a congealed salad. I've never had congealed salad.
I guarantee you've been to an Easter dinner that had a congealed salad right along that ham. Yes, you did.
I did.
All right, then I'm gonna remind you of the one congealed salad that
Marie.
Okay, the one. Okay, now we're down to the truth. So you made this at one time. One time you made one.
I'm trying to think. I want to say it is with strawberries and pecans. Am I right, Anna?
Yep.
Made one in such a long time.
But you got to put the Jell-O packet in there.
You got to put the Jell-O. That's correct. And I make it? That's why, Vinny, first of all, that's not something my boys really like.
No, but nobody likes it.
Well,
Nobody
Serena,
likes
Ma, look, I'm at someone just like Mama. Ma, is look, I'm hearing about this for the first time today. So,
Okay.
look, you could have. Did you serve something like this when I was 6 and I just didn't know what it was? Or
They would serve it at church potlucks all the time too.
Oh yeah, at potlucks they did.
well, when did
But
we ever go to a
Vinny,
potluck?
Well,
Well,
our church.
I guess y'all weren't God fearing.
Okay, Ma, hang on,
No,
hang on, Ma. Would either one of my grandmothers make this, or Mama Virginia?
No, none of them would make it.
Would Rosalie?
I
Wait, hang on. Would Rosalie make this?
No, Rosalie would not make that.
So you're saying at some point, somewhere along the way in 1969, you made one of these, and it's very possible that I've tried that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you tried it. You may. I think
You probably didn't like it. No kids like to eat it. That's the thing. They always serve it, and the grown-ups are like, "It's sweet. Don't you want to eat it?" It's like, no, it's gross. Like, I don't know.
Exactly. He's telling you exactly correctly. Has it been on our table? Yes. And I would assume that all 4 of y'all would pass it by and say, "Mom, what is this?"
Yeah,
And
where's
pass
the
it up.
pecan pie? What are we doing here?
Yeah, if you're gonna have something sweet, give me a cookie. I don't need all that.
Yeah, who wasted those
Yeah.
pecans in that thing?
Right.
And exactly. And also, it was not popular with my family. I can tell you unequivocally, I have not made that in years.
I wouldn't think
I
you would,
like it.
but I'm going to tell you what, Caroline, my stepmother, who is turning 72, still makes a congealed salad for every holiday meal. And it is her pièce de résistance. You know what I mean? And
I love
everybody
it. I'm
puts
not gonna lie.
the little tiny thing on the plate.
I'm shocked by my mom. You love the stuff. You
I
actually
love it,
it.
but I do. I love it, but I don't make it.
This is something that I used to have you make me every holiday season, but I don't do it anymore because I live in ketosis. Remember the anisette you would make, the Italian
Oh, yeah.
anisette?
Oh,
The old recipe. Talk about it, Ma. Tell
my
everybody what's in it. Go
I
ahead.
do a sugar-free one. It's in my second book.
No, you got to do it with the sugar.
I know.
Talk about it.
really
Ma.
does.
Talk about the anise and everything.
Anna, my grandmother.
Ooh.
Well, let me tell you, my grandmother would make it every year after Thanksgiving. She would make the green anisette, and she would make the red anisette.
That's right.
That was served. Now you got to remember, we were a very Italian when
Yeah.
I was a child.
Yeah, I think the audience already knows that part, Mama.
Well, as a child, there was wine on our table for every meal, and even the children could have it. But when it's there, you don't want it. I mean,
That's why
it
we
was
never
available.
drank.
No, y'all wanted that anisette because it was sweet.
Come on, talk about
Sweet,
the
and you
anisette.
get a buzz.
Even when I moved to New Orleans, they would have me bring anise seeds back for the holidays to make the anisette.
The anise oils. It got
Yeah.
Well, we used to be able to just buy it, but then we had to get it in Donaldsonville. I don't know where other people get it. We had to go to the drugstore to get it.
Wow.
The drugstore would keep the anise oil, and we have a lot of Italian families in Donaldsonville, and the drugstores would get it and have it around the holidays because people would buy it.
So, Ma,
And
explain it to the audience how it's made. You mix it. You make a simple syrup with sugar and how do you do
Sugar.
it?
It's sugar and water, and equal parts of alcohol. It's 50-50 ratio. I know that.
And you would add
That's
the
basically
anise.
how I make limoncello and nocino.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of alcohol. And then And then some of the Italians would fight and say that it only should be red, and some of them will fight and say it should only be green.
Yeah, but you get what you get and you don't get upset.
Both. She makes
Yeah,
both.
she made both. She's not depriving anybody.
Yeah.
Maria, making some creamy cilantro chicken thighs right now. You know how you buy some herbs and you have so much left over, or your garden, the herbs are about to go? All I do is I throw it on the chicken with cream, and it's amazing.
Did we lose her?
I think we lost her.
No, she's here. Ma, are you there?
I'm right here.
Okay.
She's busy. What? Leave her alone. You leave Maria alone. She's busy.
What's she up to? She's not doing anything. She's waiting.
No, she's very busy.
You should see Anna cooking over here, Ma. You'll have to watch it on the video. She's cooking away.
I will.
Yeah. All right. So you're telling me that you've made it, but you're pretty sure, or you think I may or may not have ever tasted it.
I'm sure you wouldn't have eaten it.
Probably did. I'm sure you didn't. And I'm also pretty sure your brothers didn't either. Because we always had a lot of it left. Even, when the whole family was here.
That's right.
It's just not something popular down this way.
Yeah, we were never like a Jell-O family. I remember
No,
every now and then
no.
there would be Jell-O around, but it was like it was.
My grandmother would make. Now this is not the Italian side. My grandmother would make the Jell-O parfaits where you pour the green Jell-O, and then you get the Cool Whip. You let it set. You get the Cool Whip. You put it in there, and then you do the red Jell-O, and then you get the Cool Whip on, and those parfaits when you were a kid. Because it didn't have nuts and weird fruit in it, so that was much more palatable as a kid.
Correct.
Unbelievable. Go on.
We were not Jell-O people. I would make it, Rosalie would make it for the kids, but to say that they loved it, no.
Yeah, it's kind of trashy.
Jell-O would sit around. Nobody was going for the Jell-O. So,
Right.
Yeah, that's why when she was telling me about a Jell-O salad, I literally thought someone was taking lettuce, throwing it in a bowl, and then put chunks of Jell-O in it.
He didn't know what it was.
I didn't know what it was. I had no idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, we're not big on Jell-O salads, I could tell you.
I don't think anybody's big on Jell-O salads but my stepmother, who will make you a Jell-O salad and then wonder why you don't want to eat it. You don't want a little more? Don't you want a little more to go with your turkey?
Hey, Ma.
Hey, I'm going to get you Jell-O salad.
Calm down, man. I got to talk to my mom. Ma, did you hear about my coffee debacle before I left the hotel?
Vinny, and I'm going to tell you unequivocally how I would have handled it, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I would not have handled it the way you did. I would have turned to the man who said, hey, you got to pay for that. I would have turned and said, oh, sir, I'm so sorry. I did not know that it was not being offered. I will, however, come back and pay for it. Boop, that's it. I would have ended it right there.
But Ma, that's pretty much what I did.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what you
That's
heard,
you
but
did.
no, you see,
No.
no, let me explain it. I explained it on another show, so I'm not going to get deep into it. You guys were still sleeping. I was leaving early. I went up to your room and said goodbye.
Right, yeah.
And as you know, we stayed in much less expensive hotels on the way there.
Oh,
and
yeah, with nice breakfasts.
yeah, and they would have the breakfast. And as you remember, I didn't get any breakfast. I would just fill up my thermos from the coffee
Right.
vat that was
You
sitting
did.
at the breakfast, right?
Right.
So we did that at, the Hilton and this and that. So now we're in this really nice hotel in Nashville. And the next morning, and by the way, it wasn't like it was this is the part that's crazy. It wasn't like it was a restaurant I walked into. It was the area we sat to watch the LSU game the night before.
That was
it was a
that
bar
was
the
a
night
bar.
before.
Yes, yes, it was.
And now they have the same coffee vat sitting there like they did at the Hilton hotels that we stayed in the 2 nights before, right?
Right.
Where the coffee was all free.
Right.
And I went over and when I walked in, I said to the young lady behind, she goes, may I seat you? And I said, I'm just going to hit the road. I just want to get some coffee. And she literally said these words. She pointed at him and said, have at it. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So at that point, since I'm used to at every hotel that has a buffet and a vat of coffee, now look, if I sat down and someone was pouring me coffee, I would expect that, oh, now I'm paying, but I'm getting it the same way I was getting it the 2 other nights.
Right. But
The-
then
the
I want to
mistake-
stop you.
All right, go on. Stop me and tell me. Go on.
I don't know if you were near me or not, because I specifically remember while watching the LSU game, I specifically said to either Daddy or your brothers or whoever was at the table, I said, I can assure you tomorrow morning when we get up, we will not be getting a complimentary breakfast at this hotel. And the person I said it to laughed and said, yeah, I think you're right. It was
Okay, no,
not-
I wasn't there for that conversation, but you see, I don't have hotel breakfasts. You know, as you know, I carry my
No, I
pork
know you
rinds
don't.
and my NSNG, you know, ultra fats and all that in the car.
I-
You saw what I
know
ate.
that.
You were riding
Yeah, I
with me
saw.
for hundreds of miles, right?
Right,
So
right.
when I go to get my coffee, I took a cup and poured it into my thermos and took another half a cup and poured it in, and I'm screwing the top on and I'm walking out. The manager, who has no skills whatsoever, yelled at me from halfway across the room. Right?
Are you serious?
Yes, that's where I'm upset. He goes, sir, and I didn't know he was talking to me. I'm walking out of the area. There's no door to walk through. It's just an area to walk out of.
It's over. That's right.
Right. So I'm walking out of the area. And by the time he says, sir, the third time, I turn around and I realize he's calling for me.
Oh, okay.
Now he's probably halfway across the restaurant. You know, I'm by those steps and he's by where we were sitting the night before.
Okay.
And he says something to the effect of, you know, you need to pay for that, right? And I'm now very embarrassed. And I said, I didn't have breakfast. I just got a cup of coffee. He goes, oh yeah, that's not free. And everyone sitting there is now looking at me.
Because you're stealing a cup of coffee.
Because he thinks I'm going to make off with a
Right.
cup of coffee. So,
Oh, Ben, I didn't know that part of the story.
yes, everybody always thinks I'm the guy that's being an asshole because, well, I'm an asshole, so I get it. But
Right.
thank God you didn't have to agree with me on that. So,
I didn't.
Putting this in the oven, folks. Asparagus, pine nuts, and lemon slices. Just throwing that out
very,
there.
very good, folks.
Gotta get it in there.
You got to go watch this on the video. All right, so Mal, let me
350.
continue on with the story since you don't actually know the real story. So instead of me pulling out my credit card, because I don't even want to wait for a receipt.
Right.
And I said to the guy, so, well, how much is it? He said $3.85.
What?
And I
For a cup
literally
of
said,
coffee?
I only have a cup of coffee. He goes, yeah, it's $3.85.
Are you serious?
And I'm like, I'm not going to even wait for a bill. But he goes over to the register and gets a bill. And I put my luggage down. I have my luggage on my shoulder and I have my thermos in my hand. I'll put it down because all I want to do is now hightail it out of here.
Well,
right.
of course.
I pull out a $5. I throw it on the counter. I'm not going to wait for change. I just want out. Right.
Okay.
So he comes over with the bill. And when I'm walking out, I said, you know, this just doesn't feel right. So I picked up my phone and did a 10-second video where I'm holding the phone up. And I said, you're not going to believe this, but I'm staying at the Westin, just paid $400 for a one-night room. And they just charged me $4 for a cup of coffee. And while I did that 10-second video, he pulls out, you know, he's got a walkie-talkie on the side. He pulls out a walkie-talkie and starts yelling, security, security, we need security. And I'm like, well, what? You calling security on? So I turned my camera around, just snapped a picture of him doing that because I figured nobody would believe the story, right? That's
incredible.
This is how you're going to treat someone. We had 3 rooms, 3 or 4 rooms. How many rooms did we have in that hotel? 4 rooms?
We had 3. No, we had 3.
Where did Nick stay? Mark
Nick
Smith.
stayed at another hotel.
Oh, okay. All right. That's why I thought we had. All right. So I think I
No,
lied
no,
on another
Nick was
podcast.
at-
All right. So we had 3 rooms. So with tax and license and everything, we probably had $1,600 in rooms. And this guy is chasing me down, calling security over a
For
$3.85 coffee that I've already paid for and left a generous tip for, by the way, with the $5.
Unbelievable. Vinny, that can only happen to you.
Emma, look, you know me. I walk through life. I try to just walk through and not have anything happen. Right.
I would hope so.
Yeah. But look at that. Now, I think we all know that the highlight of the trip was the neon pig, right?
Oh my God. Yes. I think when I tell the story to my friends, I told everyone about the neon pig. If you're in the Tupelo area, you must go to the neon pig.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Anna, the best hamburger I've ever put in my mouth.
Oh, it's a restaurant?
It's a butcher shop, but
It's a
they have a
butcher
couple of
shop.
tables, and it's in a strip mall. It does. When you're walking in, you're going, really? This is supposed to be the best hamburger? They have something called the smash burger and the bash burger, where they mix 3 or 4 different chucks together.
Yeah, I love that.
Anna, it is so good,
You see
so
that?
succulent. Now Anna's
They
doing a cream. Wait,
raised-
hang on, man. Anna's doing a cream sauce. Talk about it, Anna.
Got cream, we got cilantro, we got the sweet onion and salt and pepper, and you could put whatever else you want in there that you like, but it's just a simple little cream sauce. We don't want it to overboil. It's getting thick. I'm just gonna put back in the chicken thighs, let them cook a few more minutes, and then this is done while we're roasting the asparagus, and it'll be delicious.
Yeah. Anna, do you
Mhm.
all ever do melatonin?
She doesn't know what melatonin is, man. She's not real Italian. She's fake Italian.
I don't know melatonin.
Melatonin is an
Alright,
Italian vegetable.
Melatonin?
No,
Pretty
wait.
close.
No. They call it coyote pear, maybe.
Yeah. I think
Oh.
it's coyote pear in other places. It's a prickly
Yeah.
looking pear.
Prickly pear. Prickly
Yeah.
pear. Yeah. I don't work with that. Is it good? Should I make it?
Yeah, if you could find melatonin. Ma, do we grow any melatonin anymore? Nobody grows it around us anymore, do they?
I was gonna say, like,
It was the old
I would love
Italians
to.
that did it. You know, when my grandfather, all that group died, they quit because they grow on vines and they're delicious and you can.
see,
stuff
unfortunately,
them.
my Italian grandparents died before I was born, and my
Yeah,
dad doesn't cook anything, so I don't know. Everything I learned from watching television.
the
I'm a
melatonin-
television child.
The melatonin and the kikuta are 2 things that the old style Italians used to do, but you don't get them anymore, unfortunately. Anyway,
Well, you don't got to shame me about not being a real Italian. I just
Yeah.
don't know what it is.
What is everything a shame now? I'm shaming everyone. I'm stealing
Uh-huh.
coffee.
I felt shame. I'll take responsibility for it. I felt shame when you said I'm not a real Italian. There we go. I used an I message. I took responsibility for my
Yeah.
feelings.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Ma. Did we lose her again?
I don't know, but I want to go to the Noble Pig or the Neon Pig and have that.
Ma is right here.
Hey, Ma. So
What?
you really enjoyed that trip, right? You like the pig. You like going to the pig.
I did. I liked the pig. And I also found out that I cannot go to any modern day restaurant without one of my children or grandchildren, because first of all, I would not be able to order from the barcode menu.
Oh, yeah.
See, I would not be able to Venmo the tip. I don't do
Right.
Yeah, Ma,
hear
they still let you use cash. And if you ask them, they will give you a menu. More restaurants are doing that because of the COVID scare and all that kind of stuff. You know,
that for daddy, people like that. Well, I did give somebody a tip. It might have been you, Vinny. I gave a tip and said, go put it in that bowl that guy has where he was singing.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
I give it to you?
Yeah, I went up and put it in the bowl for you.
And
Very generous tip, Ma.
Anyway, the little fella came back and
Did you take a cut, Vinny?
No, I
No,
gave him the
he
whole
didn't.
fiver. I was throwing fives around Nashville like I own the place. Coffee,
Mhm.
chips. Yeah.
now, Anna, I know what a party bus is.
Uh-huh.
Not-
Did you go on a party bus with a stripper pole?
No,
No.
they saw it from like Nashville.
Oh,
Nashville's become Bourbon Street and Hollywood all rolled into.
that's the next trip. You guys are going to get a party bus with your parents and a stripper pole in it.
Well, we've already talked about the next time we do a trip with them, we're going to hire a minivan. We're going to rent a minivan.
Yeah,
you
we
know,
doing
because
a minivan.
They don't fit into, we had two cars. We had my car, the 4Runner, and we had a Honda Pilot. And we had 3 and 3, and they need more room to stretch out. My dad has a bad back, but all in all, it was a good trip. It's funny I got you on to talk about. I didn't plan on having you on tonight. And here you are.
Congealed salad is the tangent that started it all. We had a whole bunch of notes.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
we're all right.
Yeah. All right.
And but I was about to tell Anna I'm familiar with the party bus, and I'm familiar with the scooters that you roll around in cities in. Yes,
The limes.
Yeah.
I had never ever seen a party bike. I saw that for the
Oh,
first
the
time.
party bike where you sit.
Yes, where you're on it, you drink, but you're pedaling around
Yeah.
the bar.
Yes. That
I feel like the
is-
pedaling is not really doing anything. though.
It's not doing a whole lot. It's
No.
mostly the guy driving the thing. And
Yeah, they have those in Santa Barbara now, and they'll go by. Like if you're sitting outside eating, they'll go by and they're like, "We're on a party bike." Everyone's wasted. Yeah.
It's only women that do that, right? I've never seen a dude on a party bike.
No,
No,
man.
I've seen dudes on a party bike.
Really?
Santa Barbara, the men go on a party bike.
Yeah.
They're young people. I don't roll with that crowd.
Yeah, they are young people.
Yeah.
They're living their best life.
Yeah. They're having fun, I guess. Yeah.
So I have to now watch what restaurant I go into.
Do you know where's your iPhone?
I have one.
She doesn't know how
Then
to.
you can do the code. You'll figure it out.
You know what?
They'll teach you.
Get one of your nephews to come over. They'll show you. It's pretty easy. I can
Yeah.
almost do it. I've never actually done it, but I think I know how to do it.
Well,
Yeah.
I saw him trying to do it, and then someone came to the table and said, "I'll take your order." Boy, when I heard that, I was very happy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you were worried there wasn't even going to be a person to come take your order.
Oh, she didn't know.
Right.
what-
Just the robots are taking over. I get it.
Yeah, I don't like that. I like that human touch. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, her waiter was taking her order and then singing, and she's tipping the guy out. And he's coming up to the room. Oh, she had it going on. Yeah.
Oh, we had a good time, Anna. We really
It sounded like a really good trip, with the exception of the coffee debacle.
Yeah.
did. Well, that's
Well, they weren't even subject to it, Anna. It was just me.
No, we didn't even know about it until Vinny told us.
Right.
Yeah.
And the Charles thing about he buys a scratch off.
Mom, we're not getting into those kind of stories.
Okay.
Yeah. My brother, the story ends with my brother being an idiot. All right. So,
You all got to make this. This is so
Yeah.
good.
Anna, explain exactly what you're eating now, because I want to jump into that pot right now.
I got to figure out a way to show everybody. See
She's
that?
got chicken thigh. No, it looks like chicken breast.
It's chicken thigh. It's chicken thigh. Boneless. We
And
seared them in
she
some
seared
sweet
'em?
onion and some Villa Cappelli.
And now she's
then you-
smoking.
And then you choked it up on cilantro because you talked with your mouth full.
Yeah. So while Anna's doing that, then she did a cream in the pan. She put together a
Yeah.
cream sauce.
Put a
And,
whole bunch of cilantro in there. And you don't have to use cilantro. You can use whatever herb you got to use to get left over.
Yeah.
That's an instant dinner right there. And I'm roasting some
Some
asparagus.
Yeah.
Just asparagus with Villa Cappelli, lemon slices, and I put some pinoles on there. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, Ma, you should see what she made here. Anna,
You can
send
put the
Marguerite-
I might put some manchego on that asparagus.
Yeah. Hey, Anna, Send that
yeah.
recipe to Marie so she can make it.
Look at that.
Yeah,
Oh, look at that.
you know, Anna, I
I
want
love
to
the
tell you,
asparagus.
I've been seeing many recipes where they're
Mhm.
recommending that you use milk with your chicken, that it softens it and
Oh, to brine it with milk and salt.
uh-huh.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
I think it is too.
Mm.
And
Mm.
I also tried it with yogurt, and it
Mhm.
didn't. I don't think I put enough herbs in it, so it
Well,
was
if you
kind of bland.
if you think about it, Indian food culture, they marinate a lot of meats in yogurt and milk, and their meats are really tender.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. My problem, I did it with the yogurt, and I think I used cream. And wait, Vin, I gotta ask you.
Yeah.
What about pet milk? Yes or no?
No, no.
No, 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 no.
No,
No,
No
Just-
evaporated milk. Use real milk.
That's what I wanted to ask you. No evaporated milk.
No.
Just wanted to be. Do they put sugar in there?
It's
Yeah.
not one. Yeah, it's
I thought so.
yeah.
I want to lick this pan. It is so good.
Yeah, I want to dive into that pan like head first and eat what
I
you
have to
have.
cover it up so I stop eating all the sauce.
All right, Mom, we got to do the rest of the show, but thank you for
go
coming
do
on
your
and
shift.
explaining to me that I may or may not have tried Jello salad.
Jill salad.
If I had to say, I would say none of you guys did.
Yeah,
No,
because when Anna
I'm sure
said
you
it, I had
didn't.
no
I
idea.
told you that Lauren said it's awful.
Yeah.
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 And you see, I'll be honest with you, Anna.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
But
I
she
really
likes
do.
sugar. She likes sweet, sugary things. So
I know.
Yeah, I do.
I already
I do.
called it earlier. I know that you would know what it was and that you probably liked it. And it's okay because it's from a certain generation.
That's correct.
yeah.
And then me and Vinny came along and we got spoiled with our different kind of sweets. So that that kind of a sweet thing doesn't appeal. You know what I mean?
Now, I will tell you, in our real down here Southern cookbooks,
Mm-hmm.
you don't find a lot of gelatin salads, even in cookbooks. I could tell you.
No, for sure not. It wouldn't be. No.
No,
I have a few good Southern cookbooks. They have like the funeral cake and the mailbox cake and but they don't even have a congealed salad. And I'm like,
no.
what are you? What
no.
are you then?
Yeah.
What are you?
Exactly.
That's correct. That's correct. You're right
Well,
about.
Marie, it's good to hear your voice.
Good to hear you, Anna, and have a good Thanksgiving.
Thank you. You too. I like it when she comes on the show this way because now I can get her on my side.
Yeah, that ain't
yeah.
good. I don't like
It's not good for you, Vinny.
Yeah.
I just want you to know, Vinny, I am cheating probably big time for Thanksgiving.
We were just talking about that before you came
Do
on.
it, girl. Do it.
I
Yeah.
am, because I'm doing Daddy's gonna help me, and we doing artichokes Wednesday.
Ooh,
We
see,
gonna-
yeah,
we
that
gonna-
would get me to the stuffed artichoke. Oh,
Yeah,
I would have to
we
Yeah,
have
those
them.
are good.
Oh, I would be in
We're gonna
pain
do
from.
them Wednesday, but we're gonna cook them Thursday morning right before we leave.
See, I'm staying clean all the way through Thanksgiving because we're going to be in England for Christmas, and
Yeah.
You want to cheat there?
well, I don't want to cheat, but you're at the in-law. I'm at Kristen's house, and
Right.
they're going to have stuff, and you want to go. Oh no, I'm not eating that.
I
You're
know,
at someone's house,
yeah.
and
Yeah, eat whatever they serve you.
yeah. So I figured, okay, I'm just going to straight and narrow all the way up to Christmas. There's that one meal. I'll have to do what I do, and then I can jump right back on. And
Yeah, and Christy's making a cornbread dressing, and I can't pass that up either. So
Sounds wonderful.
you guys enjoy yourself. Where are you going to? Is everyone coming to your house? What are you guys doing?
no, we are all going to Mark's house. Chrissy and Mark are cooking, and we're gonna all bring something, and my brother and Rosemary are coming, but not their children, because there's a Saints game that day, and all of them are going to the Saints game. So Jude and Rosemary are coming with us.
All right. Well, that sounds good. Well, give everybody a big hug and a kiss for me.
Bye, Vin. Bye,
All right,
Anna.
love you, Mom. Bye.
Bye.
Y'all. Bye-bye.
There she goes, Anna.
I know we have to wrap this show up,
Yeah.
but I'm glad that she circled back to the cheating on Thanksgiving thing, because Thanksgiving's in 4 days. I
Yeah.
want everybody to choose. That's the cool thing about adulting. You get to choose what
Yeah.
you're going to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And even my mom, who went from the 200s and she's down to 135, and she looks amazing.
Wow.
There's no way my mom could have done that trip, the way she was huffing and puffing a couple of years ago. And as you know, fell and hurt herself, and me
Right.
going there a little
Right.
over a year ago and taking care of her and getting her NSNG. She lost a lot of weight. She was probably in the when I got there, when she got hurt, maybe 185, because she had kind of been doing NSNG, but she didn't really understand the nuances. And
Right.
she went,
You made her a lot of protein on protein on protein crime.
oh yeah, I was doing, and got them into making fish the way, instead of frying it and whole thing. And
Right.
she just started eating the way, started buying the good cheese and doing all this stuff. And both of them look amazing. Oh, Anna,
It's ready.
look at that.
Asparagus is ready.
Now, I'll tell you this. I would
I
leave
could probably
that
roast it
asparagus-
even a little more.
Yeah, I would leave that asparagus. I like when they get a little burnt.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to put it back
I
in.
like a little burnt on the asparagus. Get those bad boys back in.
I want to get the pine nuts toasted more too.
Anna,
Yes, Villa Cappelli.
we got to do a Villa Cappelli ad. Anna was talking about putting it when she was brining, not brining, but when she was, what were you doing that chicken? Heating it up, scarring it up.
Just fry it in a little bit, like a tablespoon or two of Villa Cappelli, and I drizzled Villa Cappelli over the olive oil. It's just what over the asparagus. It's just
Asparagus.
what I use to cook. And I know Steven's going to be doing a gift basket, so we'll probably be talking more about holiday gift baskets coming up.
Wait, hang on.
And-
Anna. Hang on. Let me answer this. Hello.
Hi, this is Brian, and I'm looking for Vincent Tortorich.
Yeah. Who's
Oh.
calling, please?
This is Brian, sir.
Th-
This
Brian?
calls out of the blue, but yes.
Yeah,
Calling
I'm Vincent, but most of my friends call me Vinny. So obviously you don't know who I am, right? Because my friends know me as Vinny. Who are you? Do I know you?
No, sir. And the reason why I call is to check if you're interested in selling the property at Agora Hills.
Okay, here's the deal. I don't even know which property you're talking about. I don't own any property in Woodland Hills. Are you talking about California?
Yes, sir. Agora Hills.
Okay. I don't own a property in Agora Hills. Isn't that where Kobe
okay.
Bryant crashed his helicopter?
Not really sure though.
Kobe Bryant crashed in Agora Hills. Do you know who
Yeah, I
Kobe
know Kobe
Bryant?
Bryant.
Kobe Bryant crashed in Agora Hill.
Honey, he crashed. That's my wife.
He died.
Wait, hang on, sir.
Corey
Honey,
Bryant's dead.
he's dead. You didn't know that?
Corey?
No, it's Kobe, honey.
Oh,
Sir, my wife is
the
distraught.
newscaster.
No, he played the basketball for the Lakers.
Oh, I love the
Oh,
Lakers.
Jesus, my
They're
wife.
so good at basketball.
Honey, hang on just a second. Brian.
Who's on the phone?
My friend Brian is on. Brian. Honey,
Brian Carter
no.
from Missouri?
Yeah, we're old friends. So Brian, my wife doesn't know about the property in Agora Hills. We need to talk tomorrow. Can you call me back? You see what I'm saying,
All right.
Brian? You mind?
What are you
calling me?
talking about? Property in Agora Hills.
No, Brian wants to sell us a property in Agora Hills, honey.
Well, you're not going to do it without my permission.
I could do what I want.
Oh, you're going to do what you want. I'm going to leave you. I'm going to go stay with my mother.
Jeez, Brian, I got. There goes Brian.
Brian apparently didn't like the show.
He wanted to know
By
if
the
he
way,
wanted to sell a
I have
property in
people
Agora
call
Hills.
all day long, every day for a property that I do own in Atlanta, and they call me Chad. I've had this property for 4 years, and they're
Right.
like, Chad, is this Chad? Hey, Chad, we want to buy your property, Chad. So at least they called you Vincent.
Yeah. Whenever someone wants to talk to Vincent,
Oh yeah, it's not good.
yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, Villa Cappelli is the best olive oil on the planet. And whether your name is Vincent, Brian, or Chad, you will really enjoy it. You need to get your hands on some. You need to go to vinnietortorich.com and click through the banner ad, or just go straight to villacappelli.com. Use the discount code Vinnie, VINNIE, not with a wimpy Y. And you're going to get 10% off your order each and every time. I know Steven is going to be doing some gift baskets, but I, for example, just had to order a 3-liter tin. And I also ordered some salt and one of the flavored oils so that I got my order up above the amount. So when I used the discount code Vinnie, it triggered the free shipping. So it's still over $100, my order. And that's what I did. And that's what we tell you guys to do. And you're going to love it. I just cooked with it twice here.
Yeah.
And I wanted to show you guys like an easy weeknight meal, because I've been really focused on easy weeknight meals, because you can't eat Thanksgiving food like for the next 5 days, right? Aren't you waiting until Thursday? Don't you need to cook
Right.
something else?
Exactly.
You could
Yeah.
also cook something with this.
Yeah. Anna Vocino's Eat Happy Kitchen Marinara.
That's right. That's right. Please support our businesses. You need to buy the nut butters at NSNG Foods, and you
Yeah.
need to buy the sauces at eathappykitchen.com.
Yeah. You need to buy all that stuff.
You should tell next time somebody can spam says tell them you'll sell them the property if they go buy your nut butters.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, Brian Gonzalez, if you buy some of my nut butter, I'll sell you the property I don't own in Agora Hills where Brian crashed.
See, I do own the property that they call me about, but they call me Chad. So I'm like, who's Chad? Maybe he was the owner before me.
You know, I don't
Chad.
have any real estate left in LA. That's
Oh.
what's so odd. And I never had a house.
Lawrence says certainly a woman cannot own property.
Yeah, not in this day.
And he'd be right.
Yeah. They can pretend. We can let them think they own property. I'm going to cut this off because we're going to do a special song for Kevin Biggs, but we can't.
Yes,
put
we
that
are.
on the YouTube because I was like, man, what can I?
Because
play
we'll go to
for
YouTube
Kevin?
prison.
Yeah.
And I'm going to just sit and eat pinoli's straight from the tin.
So let me cut this.